All right, guys, it's another hot-ass day in Bangkok, and there is another Asian male, white female couple on the internet causing an internet firestorm because some people think that's not the way the world should work. Let me play some TikTok clips from Anna Post Diva and her Korean husband. Oh my goodness, as you guys may have guessed or not, there was a ton of negative comments from around the world. Honestly, a lot of these were not from America or Canada. Let me just pop up some of them right here. I don't need to cover them. You guys can see it's sort of endless. And you know, these are similar to comments that other couples like this also get on the internet. But obviously it's different, it's variable. I just noticed that Anna Post Diva tended to get a much higher volume even than some American couples. I didn't really want to talk about this, but it just goes so viral every time. The reaction on Reddit goes viral. The arguing in the comments section between people from this part of the world, that part of the world, it's just so endless. I figured, you know what, let me cover it because you can learn something new from it every single time. First off, I want to just say this. People on Instagram sort of drunkenly fire from the hip and give a very visceral human reaction to things. That's actually why I think it's enjoyable, because nobody does the research. Nobody looks into the fact that Anna Post Diva has been living in South Korea for 10 years, mostly has Korean homegirls or like friends that are girls, speaks Korean, for all practical purposes is not even just a Korea boo, became Korean. She's like part of the Korean society, and she's been dating her husband for like 9 years. Arguably when they met 9 years ago, you could even say he was better looking than her, but maybe she glowed up over the years. How does a female glow up? Yeah, maybe there's a, you know, the women can do a lot of things that guys can not do, and maybe he's not at his peak. So whatever it causes, this looks gap that people perceive, which is not even that gigantic. Maybe he's not, you know, just trying to be a dad to their child, and then she got some upgrades or whatever, and then now everybody's just seeing it for the first time 10 years later. This is like a full-ass family now. Like, she's basically just become Korean. They're just a Korean family at this point, but she just happens to be a Russian who became Korean. And then, but the thing is, to the way the rest of the world perceives it, especially if they're from other countries where they don't have a lot of Asian men or a lot of Asian products or a lot of Asian culture or like South Korean culture, whatever you want to say it, like I'm imagining in these regions that a lot of these negative comments are coming from, like their fishbowl in their ranking system, their totem pole. South Korean culture is not very dominant. Whereas if you've been living in LA, New York, Sydney, you know, new world countries, dude, yeah, of course it still matters in New York where you are. I've seen hot Slavic girls with tall Korean dudes in Koreatown, LA, and New York for like the past 10 years. But yeah, it's true that even if you go to like Murray Hill or West Village or you go to Santa Monica, it's a little bit less common than in Koreatown. So yes, to be fair, it does even matter where in each American New World city you're looking, like which micro neighborhood. So anyway, guys, not to get caught up in the negative comments and then just to make it rage bait or whatever like that, let's just talk about this. Is hating on Asian dudes' value, or like perceiving like white women's value as way higher than an Asian dude's value, is this a white world thing, or is it a Western hemisphere thing? Because most of the negative comments were not even coming from other white guys or Russian guys, because I don't even know if, to be honest, like, I don't think white people even like fully consider Russians white. They are, but like, anyway, we don't need to get into that. That's a whole different rabbit hole. But I'm just saying that, I would say this, like I said in a previous video, you don't have to be like white genetically to have bought into, I guess, a Western hierarchy genetically. So there may be other groups that feel like they're more white adjacent or second in line to be the successors if like the looks beauty standard shifts away from being like Caucasian, that they're the next in line because they look like a Caucasian somewhat. Whereas like maybe they're like, I can't believe that it shifted to be like this Mongoloid mongrel, or like this other guy, these like light-skinned black guys or something like that. And they even revealed that in this comment I'll just pop up, where someone said, yeah, I can't believe that the look standard shifted from a tall white guy with a beard that's hairy to being like smooth shaven black guys or Asian guys. And then I was thinking in my head, I was like, yeah, this guy probably has a beard, because that's why he has the self-incentive to be mad that the looks like some beauty standard is not shifting towards him. But here's the truth. That's true and it's not true. I think there's just a lot more niches and a lot more fragmentation in terms of what people can be attracted to and like what Overton windows they're like, you know, like following in 2025. Ultimately, guys, if you want me to have a bigger takeaway, like I said, I don't want this to just fall in a rage bait where people are like, oh my gosh, just look at all these negative comments that people have against Mongoloid or Asian or Oriental dudes or this good looking Korean guy, because maybe like he's good looking in the Korean world, but he's not good looking, you know, to the Western world. Because here's the thing, everybody is sharing different Overton windows in 2025. And obviously different societies, different cultures, different fish bowls, different microsystems, they've always had their own ranking. But here's the thing, we're all sharing the same Instagram nowadays, and everybody can translate each other's comments. So it's like everybody is sharing the same lunchroom, but we're not all following, you know, like if you look at American high schools, like at STEM high schools, the coolest people are the smart people, right? If you go to most Americana jock high schools, the coolest people are the guys on the football team or the basketball team or the Beckys on the cheerleading squad, right? But the thing is, at the school lunchroom, everybody has to be underneath that tone or that narrative of that high school. But Instagram is a bunch of people that are raised from different high schools arguing about what's cool or uncool or valuable or non-prioritized, but they're all sharing the same Instagram. So that's the thing where I'm like, yeah, of course we're not gonna agree. And that's why you're gonna see comments on Anna Post Diva's thing being like a negative comment with like 3,000 ups, and then another comment being like, wow, the racism in Anna Post Diva's comments is ridiculous, guys. I can't believe it. And that's got another 2,000 ups. Because the whole world is sharing the same internet, but we don't all think the same. We're not sharing the same Overton window. And that's probably happening with a lot of things nowadays. But anyway, specifically in regards to the Asian male, white female couple, I just think it's going to be a lot more common in the future, whether we're talking about in a dorky way, which is like Michelle and Steven, or in the gamer way, which is like Amarath and her husband, or, you know, I don't know if this is like a frat couple, this like Chinese spy meme one, or Young Hoku and his wife, and, you know, it's just like more Eastern European women becoming part of the Korean narrative. You know what I mean? I see that a lot nowadays. I've been seeing it for like 10 years. Maybe it just like is at its peak right now. And here's the thing, like I said in previous videos, most people freeze their worldview of how they see things. Like, you know what I mean? Their perspective, their totem poles of hierarchies of the globe, they freeze them at about 17 years old. If Asian guys only got popping globally for the last 5 to 10 years, that means arguably anybody who's over the age of 30, or possibly depending in certain cultures or societies, over the age of 25, can just not imagine why anybody would value Oriental men. But that's just their perspective. But they don't want cognitive dissonance, so they would rather shove everything back into their old worldview. But like I said, man, it's just happening more and more. And it's pretty interesting because we get to see everybody's unfiltered opinion about it. And that's one of the cool things about IG. And definitely one thing that you can say, some people can say, oh, I just dismiss all internet comments. Well, internet comments are still real comments, but they usually are scratching somebody's like worst part of their humanity, their worst part of themselves, and also their most drunkenly fire from the hip, you know, reaction. So it's interesting because if you don't get offended by it, you can just see it's like, oh, because we all come from these different worlds with different Overton windows and different experiences. Anyway, that's my biggest takeaway about Anna Post Diva. Shout out to her, shout out to her husband, shout out to her kid. It's gonna happen more and more, and we're just gonna see more and more discussion about it. Anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think about this video. Let me know what you guys think about my takeaways. It's hot as hell. I need to go get some ramen. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.